Good morning, everyone. Wonderful, wonderful day. Glad to see all of you here this morning. Holy cow. Holy cow. Do we have an interesting one for you this morning? Sorry, it just took a little while for me to get all my thoughts together on this one because it's crazy. It is crazy, crazy, crazy stuff out there. Good to see JW. Forever Not Me. Good to see you. Oh, man. Ingrid, Knock It Offler. That's awesome. Mickey, D, JW, Starzy, Debbie. Oh my gosh. Hiya, Lily. Yes, I am late this morning. I was reading through some of this news and I've got thoughts. And they're not all sussed out yet. I haven't gotten to the conclusion of it, but something doesn't smell good in Stinkville is what I'm seeing, and I'll let you guys in on that here shortly. I had sort of holding my tongue because it could get me in a little bit of trouble. just say, yeah, try not to get myself in trouble this morning. That would be the plus to it if I possibly can. So in case you guys haven't noticed. Because, it doesn't really matter whenever it's outside of the country. We usually don't pay as much attention to it. But Venezuela, both parties claim victory. This could just be a test. If I'm not mistaken, not too long ago, something like this similarly happened. Pretty similar to this. So what exactly does this mean for the rest of the world or other elections that might be coming up? Well, AP is going to tell us how we should think here. Yeah, AP is going to tell us exactly how we should be thinking about this. Why Venezuela's presidential election should matter to the rest of the world? Well, it shouldn't, because it's their country. Venezuela. The future of Venezuela is on the line. How would the future of Venezuela be on the line? Because the country should be about the people and not the leaders, right? It's supposed to be. Voters will decide Sunday whether to re-elect President Nicolas Maduro, whose 11 years in office have been beset by crisis, or allow the opposition a chance to deliver on a promise to undo the ruling party's policies that caused an economic collapse and forced millions to flee. I don't think you would want to say immigrate. Historically fractured opposition parties have coalesced behind a single candidate. Given the United Socialist Party of Venezuela its most serious electoral challenge in a presidential election in decades. Maduro is being challenged by former diplomat Edmundo González Urrutia, who represents the resurgent opposition, and 8 other candidates. Weird. Supporters of Maduro and Gonzalez marked the end of the official campaign season Thursday with massive demonstrations in the capital of Caracas. Here are some reasons why the election should matter to the world. No, it shouldn't. The election will impact the migration flows regardless of the winner. No, that's a lame excuse. If people are fleeing their country because it's that bad, that shouldn't affect the rest of the world because they would just send them back to their own country. If it's that bad in your country, yeah, we both have armies, correct? Yeah, get out of my head. Which the UN's refugee agency describes as the largest exodus in Latin America's recent history. Well, this is what they want you to believe. Because if they're settling in Latin America and the Caribbean, then why are they setting their sights on the U.S.? Why would they? Why would they ever want to come to the U.S.? What does that have to do with anything? We have a process which people that are looking for, yeah, it ain't just Latin America coming across. Exactly, but it's more than that. And like I said, I'm still sussing this out in my head, but it sounds to me like whenever you have two parties that might be in opposition and it's a closely contested race. It sounds to me like a test, a litmus test on the United States of what's going to happen what's going to happen in November. It sounds to me like they're preparing us, United States, you dear readers here, they're let's see which way the wind is blowing. Let's see how people react. Does it cause social distrust? Is it bad enough that we can weather the storm, and while they're all confused and angry at one another, that we can maintain control? Because I don't think there should ever be a nationwide poll on what people want. Already scrubbed the tempt of Trump. Oh yeah, that goes away. Yes, we have a lot of Africans, Chinese, Russians. We have plenty of it coming from Venezuela. We have plenty coming from Iran. Have plenty coming from various other countries that they can't figure out where they went to. They lost track of them. Imagine that. A nationwide poll conducted in April by the Venezuela-based research firm, that I already call it sus, because they're already saying that under Maduro's, it's been an absolute mess. I was going to say something else about shows. And this person coming in doesn't look like they're going to be much better. Makes me concerned. Of those, about 47% said a win by the opposition would make them stay, but roughly the same amount indicated that an improved economy would keep them in their home country. Informal British propaganda or present sus grade or grasp something sussed it, discovered the true character or nature. I reckon I got him sussed. Thank you. It's a poll had a margin of error of plus or minus 2 percentage points. Like I said, polls don't matter because whoever wants the poll to say what they want it to say has to say so. You make a poll say whatever you want to just by asking the question correctly. Of course, 50 countries go to the polls in 2024. This year will be a test of the most robust, and there's the word, democracies, mob rule. Take a look at the 25 places where changing leadership could resonate around the world. Like I said, they're working towards the U.S. Don't know who's pulling the strings, but this is a goal. This is a goal. Get you guys where you want to be. Hey, Brandon. Isn't that what happens here? Exactly. You were watching a large YouTube news channel and they were saying there was fraud. He said, well, these results are easily verifiable, but they didn't let both parties observe the count. Isn't that what happens here? That is my point. How's it going? Well, I'm working on a print for you. We'll see if it comes out this time. There will be more of a turnout this election in 2016. Yes, there probably will be more of a turnout this year than in 2020 even. I would imagine that it'll be pretty large turnout. The most talked about name of the race is not on the ballot. It's Maria Corina Machado, whatever. The former lawmaker emerged as the opposition star in 23, filling the void, I bet she did, left when the previous generation of opposition leaders fled into exile. A generation of opposition leaders fled into exile. Why would that be? Do you think they maybe felt threatened? Day of stream at 5:30 a.m. CST. Come hang out. See. Yeah, I've got a. You'll see it when it's done. It's coming along. It's coming along marvelously right now. Since then, it has issued warrants for several Machado's supporters and arrested some members of her staff, and the country's top court affirmed a decision to keep her off the ballot. Doesn't this sound really damn familiar? The supporters are being arrested. Like I said, to me it feels like this is a litmus test of what to expect come November. It seems a little sus to me that something's going on here. Keep an eye out. But Maduro's government declared the primary illegal and open criminal investigations against some of its organizers. Yet she kept on campaigning, holding rallies nationwide, and turning the ban on her candidacy into a symbol of the loss of rights and humiliations that many voters have felt over a decade. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? She has thrown her support behind Edmundo, a former ambassador who never held public office, helping a fractious opposition unify. They are campaigning together on the promise of economic reform that will lure back the millions of people who have fled since Maduro became president in 2013. Well, it goes to show that it's usually not the best and brightest that flee. I wonder why that is. The largest turnout of actual voters since 2016. Yes. Hey, all of you fine, deplorable. It's a beautiful morning over here. Excellent. It is a beautiful morning here also. Day stream at 5:30 in the morning. You come hang out. Why is the current president struggling? Well, he could be struggling for many reasons, mainly because it's a horrible economical situation that hasn't been made any better by the U.S. Maduro's popularity is dwindled due to an economic crisis caused by a drop in oil prices, corruption, and government management. That's not true. That is an absolute lie. There hasn't been a drop in oil prices. It's because they control the oil and they've stopped drilling. They've made the region so unstable that big companies aren't coming in. They've made it so difficult for large companies that they've upped and left. Maduro can still bank on a cadre of die-hard believers known as Chavistas, including millions of public employees, go figure, and other businesses or employment depend on the state. But the ability of his party to use access to social programs to make people vote has diminished as the economy is frayed. He is the heir to Hugo Chavez, a socialist who expanded Venezuela's welfare state while locking horns with the United States. Now remember, Hugo Chavez is what a lot of these kids in the United States want. That's the kind of government that they want to have. Because it's working so well in Venezuela, they want to bring those same socialist beliefs to our country and run it the same way. Because, Hugo Chavez is one of their heroes. Look how well it's worked out there. Well, if it doesn't work out there, we'll just ship some Venezuelans here and make it work. Damn it. Because they didn't flee their country for that reason. No. They fled their country because it was, gas prices went down. Since sick with cancer, Chavez handpicked Maduro to act as interim president upon his death. He took the role in March of 2013, and the following month he narrowly won the presidential election, triggered by his mentor's death. Maduro was reelected in 2018 in a contest that was widely considered a sham. His government banned Venezuela, the most popular parties and politicians, from participating, and lacking a level playing field, the opposition urged voters to boycott the election. Like I said, this is a test. This is only a test, and nothing should be meant by it, because we know here in this state all elections are fair and square, right? Absolutely the most fairest and squarest elections you'll ever see. The authoritarian tilt was part of the rationale the U.S. used to impose economic sanctions that crippled the country's crucial oil industry. Really? Because we said we weren't going to support a socialist country that was right on the verge of being communist. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is what happens to a democracy. Mob rules, and the mob will usually destroy. American Cancer Society, largest nonprofit in America, $20 billion annual budget, and Rick Simpson's oil, highly concentrated cannabis, cures it like Tommy Chong in Spain, but they silenced him. Maduro absolutely fortified that election. Yes, it was fortified. Don't you dare challenge the validity of U.S. elections. That's a crime. Never did, ever. Never would I. Venezuela has the world's largest proven crude reserves, but its production declined over several years. Oh, see, now they get to the point here. But its production declined over several years, in part because the government mismanaged and widespread corruption in the state-owned oil company. So it has nothing to do with the gas prices. As the AP would have you believe, as you're reading through this, they're like, "Oh no, it's because of the low gas prices. That's why everybody fled. There's cheap gas. Cheap gas makes people flee their country." The price of oil did not decline. The price of oil is up, but their reserves they can't tap into because they've gone so corrupt. Why do we accept Middle East oil? They're mean to women. Maybe that's why we accept it. They should be meaner. I'm kidding. Don't be mean to women. Except certain women you can be mean to. It's only because they're mean to you first. Damn them. I'm kidding. Don't ever be mean to women. Ever. Be nice and kind, except when they don't need to be. Oh. In April, Venezuela's government announced the arrest of Tarek el-Assami, the once powerful oil minister and Maduro ally, over an alleged scheme through which hundreds of millions of dollars in oil proceeds seemingly disappeared. Is that sort of like the money that we're sending to Afghanistan, the money that we sent over to Ukraine, the money that we've sent to Iran, the money that we've sent to all of these countries over the years, just seemingly disappeared? Same month, the U.S. government reimposed sanctions on Venezuela's energy sector. Wow. After Maduro's and his allies used the ruling party's total control over Venezuela's institution to undermine an agreement to allow free elections. I'm telling you, this is a litmus test right here. It is a complete litmus test. Pay close attention. Women want equal treatment. What's wrong with granting their wish? No, they want equal lefts and rights. Equal rights and equal lefts. That's what it is. You know, I had to say that all screwed up too. Oil is their word for drugs. Vietnam Golden Triangle, Iran Contra drugs for arms, Iraq and Afghanistan, opium, etc. That same month, U.S. government reimposed sanctions on Venezuela's energy sector after Maduro and his allies used the ruling party to control over Venezuela's institutions. The sanctions make it illegal for U.S. companies to do business with state-run Petróleos de Venezuela, better known as PDSVA, without prior authorization from U.S. Treasury Department. The outcome of the election could decide whether those sanctions remain in place. Everything is wrong with that. Just ask the Saudi. Morning, Wallstrom. The Democrats take our money and give it to the violent nations to commit war. No, it's not just the Democrats, and I'll fight you on that one. It's not just the Democrats; it's the Republicans also. We've seen it for the past 3.5 years. Those bills sending money, the pork budgets, those are being sent off by both Democrats and Republicans. That's democracy at its finest. They're hoping for some sort of goodwill if the Democrats win this fall. So it's Democrats and Republicans both. They may not agree with it, but they're still complicit in it. They're still complicit in the whole damn scheme. The outcome of the election could decide whether those sanctions remain in place. An uneven playing field, more fair, free and fair presidential election seems like a possibility last year. I doubt it. Maduro's government agreed to work with U.S.-backed Unitary Platform Coalition. I've never heard of the Unitary Platform Coalition to improve electoral conditions in 2023. Why would they wait so long? Why would they wait till 2023? And why is this company involved? I'll fight you, Shizzy. Oh yeah, I want to see that picture now. Am I on the Twitter? Oh, I'm so on the Twitter, but I don't get in Twitter fights. I find those ridiculous and immature. I just don't. I don't do it. I look at Twitter as a place where I can say certain things and not get in trouble for it. We could have inhabited another planet with all the money we've stolen. I mean, given away. I'm kidding, sure. I know you are, Boosh. That's why I'm giving you a hard time. It's like, I don't do the Twitter fights. Those are too damn hilarious. The government has also used its control of media outlets, the country's fuel supply, electric network, and other infrastructure to limit the reach of this other campaign, the Machado Gonzalez campaign. Why is it that they're subjecting targets to detention, surveillance, threats, defamatory campaigns, and arbitrary criminal proceedings? Have we not seen this same thing happening over the past year? It's amazing to me that as soon as Trump comes out and tells people, it's been past couple of years, 3.5, 4, 5, 7, 8.5 years that we've seen them coming after the other party. Yeah. The mounting actions taken against the opposition, prompting the Biden administration earlier this year to end the sanctions relief it granted in October. Oh, because they told him no, but they did it anyway. Actually, a picture of me and my friend Shell shaded. Cell shaded. Got it. It would make a better Dr. Doom than RD Jr. Yeah. The mounting actions taken against the opposition prompted Biden to end the sanction relief. So, Biden, in true form, which they won't tell you about, granted sanctions, like eased up on the sanctions to Venezuela. And they sent even more illegals our way. That was the response we got from that. Go figure. Wonder how that happened. And of course, you can follow AP's Latin coverage of Latin America and the Caribbean. Weird that they would say that. Where they would say, and the Caribbean. It is insane. Thank you. So AP has given us a timeline. Here's their timeline. Oh, this is funny. So today being the 29th, so the 28th, as you can see, they have a timeline. They've been tracking this for quite some time. We do not want more Venezuelans leaving the country. There's a evangelical pastor on Venezuela's presidential ballot. No violence or incidents at voting sites, says the Minister of Defense. Hugo Chavez would have voted for Maduro. Venezuelans vote in neighboring countries. Opposition leaders. Filipino Grande. If Maduro wins, the Venezuelans say they will leave. Voters screamed, leave, 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 at allies of the ruling party. Maduro barely won in 2013. Opposition. See, they're just got this timeline that is just a bunch of praise for Maduro. Venezuela's foreign government condemns what says a foreign effort to intervene in election. I mean, these are all the same talking points. The electoral authorities declared President Maduro the winner of Sunday's presidential election, while the opposition claimed victory in the race, setting up a showdown. The Venezuelans and the entire world know what happened. Foreign leaders held off recognizing the results. Why would foreign leaders need to recognize the results? This is Venezuela's issue. Why are foreign governments involved in Venezuela? Until I see you again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Thank you, Bush. They need it. My girls are growing up to be giant buds. Sweet. Bush, you really surprised me. I judged you wrong. My apologies. Father McFadden. This is a little bit interesting. And that the U.S. is even involved with this. Blinken says U.S. has serious concerns about announcement result of Venezuelan election. Why should it? Why should it have any concerns? From Tokyo, don't know why, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said the United States has serious concerns about the announced results in this hotly contested election that authorities say was won by Nicolas Maduro. Speaking in Tokyo on Monday, shortly after the announcement was made, Blinken said the U.S. was concerned that the results reflected neither the will nor the votes of the Venezuelan people. How would you know? How would you know what calls for in another country? Speaking in Tokyo on Monday, shortly after the announcement was made, we have seen the announcements just a short while ago by the Venezuelan Electoral Commission. He said, we have serious concerns that the result announced does not reflect the will or the votes of the Venezuelan people. As I said, Blinken. According to Democrats, you can only have concerns about foreign elections. You're not allowed to raise concerns about your own elections because, well, that there's a crime. It's like Bob's Wrinkle. Bob's Wrinkle. Yeah. This right there should give you some concern. Did Maduro win with 81 million votes? Well, if you control the electorate, how do you think it turns out? It's just like if you control the thing, this little piece of cake that the Democrats are working on right now. Our current administration is working on stacking the Supreme Court. And I'm not joking when I say that. How do you think certain things are going to turn out that they want to bring before the Supreme Court? Do you think it'll be fair? Do you think they will give you a fair biases? Do you think they won't just stack some more people in there whenever the next group comes in, or the next group, or the next group? Because whenever I read this right here, we have serious concerns that the result announced does not reflect the will or the votes of the Venezuelan people. That should raise you concern. Apparently we will have 215 million voters this time. Yeah. 330 million citizens in the USA. Yep. Uh-huh. We It's critical that every vote be counted fairly and transparently. As we're done here with people putting up big placards in front of windows. That never happened. That's not what we were seeing. 80 million are under age 18, 50 million are legal non-citizen. It's critical that every vote be counted fairly, transparently, that electoral authorities immediately share information with the opposition and independent observers without delay, and that the electoral authorities publish the tabulation of votes. The international community is watching this very closely, will respond accordingly. I doubt it. Did the international community, were they concerned with ours? That went on for how many months? I don't think the international community was really looking at it. Every adult in the USA, of course, a registered voter. Even some children are registered voters here. Amazing how that works. In Venezuela, the announcement of Sunday's election result was delayed by several hours. Why is that? And the National Electoral Council, which is controlled by Maduro loyalists, said Maduro had secured a majority without releasing tallies from polling booths. Opposition leader Maria Corina Machado was blocked from running, but she said after the council's announcement that the margin of victory for the opposition's candidate, Gonzalez, was overwhelming based on the voting tallies it received from campaign representatives from about 40% of ballot boxes nationwide. Overwhelming based on tallies it received from campaign representatives. Folks. And that's it. That's all they have to say. Really. It seems to me like there was more of the story. And why didn't anybody have their name on the story? Weird. Isn't it weird that here's the news. Here's the news. Somebody wrote this. Somebody took the time to write this. And nobody is taking credit for it. Why wouldn't anybody take credit for this? And you've got people quoted, you've got all this work that they've done. Opposition leader was blocked from running, and all this information comes out, and look, nobody wrote this. Nobody. Why is that? Why isn't anybody taking claim for this? Could this be an AI psyop? I don't know. Even Kim Jong-un would condemn this. What was that? You're black, an ex-slave. Do I only count as 1/3 of a vote from the Civil War? Restricting agenda. Redistricting agenda. Well, you're as long as you're not a Democrat, then your vote counts as anybody else did. And you have to remember the reason that the third of a vote was counted that way is because they wanted to make sure that they didn't have slave owners forcing their slaves that didn't know how to read or write to vote. That was the biggest concern, which basically would have been voting for their own slavery. That's what that was, just so you know. Pretty crappy thing, but that's why they wanted it set up that way. There we go. And now this is why we have like electoral college, so those votes can't be stacked. Yeah, it's a screwy way of looking at it, but it's true. And of course, this is the new story here. Sure. Joe Biden is out and camel toe is in. Disenchanted voters are taking a new look at their choices. Really? I don't think there's a whole lot of people that were looking to vote for Joe Biden. It's like voting for your own destruction. Americans are immortal if we leave. We've just gone to Europa to join the breakaway civilization of Asganda's nation. Asgardian nation. Joe Biden is out and camel toe is in. In Washington. Now see, you've got this one was written by Bill Barrow and Zeke Miller. But this other one, not written by anybody. Oh, this 84-year-old Democrat from St. Louis said she just cannot forgive Joe Biden for Gaza and his continued support for the Israeli counteroffensive against Hamas. Huh. Oh, man. Mateo Sriracho and Cooper Brock, 2-year-old traffic planners in Atlanta. 25-year-old traffic planners. Really? Mateo Sriracho and Cooper Brock, they're traffic planners. They're 25 years old. They're planning traffic. That should tell you something. If you're letting 25-year-olds dictate where your car is supposed to be going, that's why Atlanta is so screwed up. They have traffic planners that are completely screwed. Oh, we're prepared to vote for Biden over Trump, but neither were thrilled with the idea of a rematch of the 2020 election. Because there wouldn't have been a rematch. That's the thing. There wouldn't have been a rematch. Different election, different time. People got a taste of how horrible Biden has run the country into the ground. And if they're sitting there thinking, well, it'd be just a rematch of 2020, the same thing would happen. No, the same thing would not happen. Or else the current administration would not be going so hard at trying to arrest and have jailed and remove them off the ballot, assassinated, and just deleted, gone. They're so scared of Trump right now that they're running out of options. They're like a dog backed in a corner. What have I said about a dog backed in a corner? They get very angry and pissed off and tend to come out with teeth bared. I was kind of hoping something would change, sort of like your traffic situation, because if you're traffic planners, it's horrible. And then it did. The change happened. It's a fresh choice now, said Vallone, explaining her willingness to give camel toe the likely... because anytime I hear Democratic, I just want to say mob rule. The likely mob rule nominee a chance after Biden ended his re-election bid. Mob rule. American mob rule has overcome big stress tests since 2020. More challenges lie ahead in 2024. And what's AP's role in it? Well, because they're going to have the most trusted source of information. Right. That's what everybody says. I've got to see what this one has to say. That one kills me. Vallone, Sirocco, and Brock reflect what have become to define the 2024 presidential campaign. The wide swath of voters who were disillusioned or dissatisfied with having to choose between the same two men who waged a bitter national fight 4 years ago. But it wasn't a fight. Biden hid in his fucking basement for the whole damn time. He had one conference in front of people, and they were all honking their horns. Jesus. I don't know enough about her yet, but look forward to learning more. Really? So this person shouldn't should not even be discussing anything about their choices in an election if they don't know anything about their vice presidential candidate. Jesus Christ almighty. Christ on a stick. Oh, what's that? Trump's media presence has been quiet this past week. It hasn't. That's the thing. Trump's media presence has not been quiet. Well, his media presence, because the media doesn't want to talk about him, because all they want to talk about is camel toe, because they've got to get the backing of the American people and make her worthwhile. But Trump has been out there like state by state by state by state by state by state. Having traffic planners like saying we're too cheap to pay traffic engineers. No, they call them civil engineers. Yeah, traffic planners are idiots. Just following Thomas Jefferson's orders to put down a tyranny with a big stick while speaking softly. That was Teddy Roosevelt. Exactly. I had to read down the line. That was Thomas Jefferson's orders to put down tyranny with a big... maintain a population of 500 million and balance with the environment of Earth and add robots, of course. Had Biden not done Bidenomics, the media ignored Trump like RFK. I think Trump wouldn't be an issue, but they can't help themselves. Of course they can. Always trying to tear me down. So funny. Speaking of where is Biden? There he is. He's the same as where's Waldo? The Rough Riders and Rosie Balls. They've rebranded. Camel Toe is the new Obama. Absolutely. Yeah. Hello, Christine. Bush. Yeah, Biden. Hello, sir. How are you doing? Is everyone doing good today? I hope everyone's doing good today. We're fired up, ready for revolution. Yeah, you have to have something to revolt against. If you're revolting against mob rule, well, you fought the law, but the law will always win. Unless you're in the United States lately. I don't know enough about her, but I'm looking forward to learning more, Brock said. It's certainly exciting to think about a woman and a woman of color being in a position to win. What have I said about this DEI stuff? This takes away all agency. So you're looking at a woman to win, and a woman of color at that to win. All she has to do is come out and say that she eats other women out, and damn, she's got like 100% of everyone's vote. Good God Almighty. You notice she doesn't talk too much about her failed little bed at incorporating the Jewish religion into her little speech a couple years back. You notice how horrible that fell. Do you think she's going to do another Christmas speech this year? Oh, it'll be too late. Because she already went up against one particular president. She's already undermined a good majority of Israel. She's shown that she has no support for Israel. She's wanting to dictate what Israel does in its own country against aggressors. She's already told what she wants to do. But yet, she's a person of color and a woman. Yeah, that. Why do you think people are saying diversity hire? That's all she is. Check. Woman, check. Black, check. Indian, check. And of course, Harris's campaign is trying to reap the benefits, capitalizing on a jolt of fundraising, volunteer interest, and media attention. After the Democrats spent 3 weeks since Biden's debate debacle, it's been 3.5 years of President Bubblehead debacle, wondering whether the octogenarian president would stand down or stick to his campaign even as his support with the party dwindled. It was dwindling long before that. It was dwindling whenever he ran the first go-round. He didn't have the support. Sorry, I said it. Yes, he didn't have the support the first election. Do you think it's grown since then? A rematch about being less disliked. This has nothing to do with likability. You don't have to like the mean tweets, but I bet your ass really misses having those whenever you can't buy food and groceries for your kids, where the government spends all of its money going to Ukraine instead of helping its own citizens out. Raise your taxes too. Yeah, that's coming down the pipe. For months, Biden's campaign is placing all in bet that voters frustrated with or in denial about their options this fall would come around to his candidacy because of their shared fear of Trump. It was a risky proposition, evidenced by the swiftness of the collapse of Biden's candidacy after the June 27th debate. No, it just became obvious to the rest of the world that Biden is not capable of holding his position in office. It's become very clear. At that point, it's hard to deny. They said, "Oh well, he was tired." That was the media immediately during that. Oh, he's tired, and of course it had to be pointed out. Well, he was on a campaign. He went here, and he was over at the UN and NATO, and he's just tired. Jesus Almighty, he had a freaking week and a half, almost 2 weeks that he sat in Camp David preparing. He was tired. Oh. Yeah. But meanwhile, while Trump is sitting in a freaking hearing, a sham trial, a show trial in New York, he's still out there campaigning every chance that he could get. Didn't see any tired or letting up on that bit whatsoever. Wanted to keep them in Jim Crow jail. That was illegal. To be unemployed as an ex-slave who were Aboriginal black Indians, not African. Only 300,000 were shipped here, stole their land and identity. We're good. Okay. Oh my God. Now, with Harris in the driver's seat, the same team that had prepared for a campaign of attrition is going on offense. Seeing expanded universe of winnable voters, as campaign chair Jen O'Malley Dillon wrote in her recent memo. Right. Where Biden and Trump were universally known and widely disliked. Voters don't know anything about the vice president. And why is that? Well, because we have to have the media tell us what we already know about her. That she She sucked as a candidate during 2016. 2020, she sucked even worse. I think she ran in. No, she didn't run it. Did she run in 2016? I think her name was there, but there was so many that Hillary stomped all those out. But in 2020, she sucked horrible. Like, Tulsi Gabbard owned her. And you have to remember that Biden was calling, using the same trope and calling Biden a racist. Yeah. Now that was Harris that was calling Biden a racist during the 2020 election cycle. Bernie never stayed in second time around, huh? Yeah. So she got booted out of the running before a vote was even cast because she was polling like in the negatives. Yeah. So just picture this. Just picture this in your mind if you can sort of put this into context. Trump didn't show up to a single debate. Trump didn't show up to a single debate between the primaries for the RNC and was still holding better than half of all the others combined. That's where Trump was at without debating a single one of them. And they bitched and moaned about debating him. They predicted that Haley was going to beat him. They're like, I mean, come on, it's a woman of color. They called her ugly in school. She did so much for her party. She's a wonderful, special kind of person. And Nikki Haley lost out in her own state against anyone else but. None of the above is what Nikki Haley lost out to. That's how low of a percentage of people wanted to vote for her. Yet they kept saying, oh, Nikki Haley's like beating Donald Trump. Why won't Donald Trump debate us? Because he doesn't have to. He's already got this tied up. That's how it is with Harris. Trump has pretty much got all this tied up. And anybody that sits there and says that Harris can even compete on this level of playing field, she polled so poorly with her own people that none of the above polls higher than her. Yeah, Haley is cringe. I'll give it to Camel Toe for $20. At this point, you're hungry. Jeez. I've been promised they'll be taking Biden and Harris to the breakaway civilization on Europa soon. They'll love them there. The fresh start for Democrats does not eliminate the presence of double haters. Okay, those voters with negative impressions of both candidates. It just reminds me of the Palestinian Olympics. It just... The campaign and its mob rule allies plan to reintroduce Harris to the American people in the run-up to the mob rule national convention next month, and are looking to excite voters about their new choice, because you thought that they had a choice in this. No, you don't have no choice. The fresh start for Democrats does not eliminate the presence of double haters, these voters with negative impressions of both candidates, but it resets the race. It doesn't reset anything. It doesn't reset anything. See, here's the thing. Trump had no problem going up and debating Biden. Now, neither of them at that point, and I'm telling you this straight up, neither of those at that point had their party's nomination. Neither Biden nor Trump had the nomination, which would be coming from the RNC for Trump and the DNC for Biden. Weird, huh? That these two would debate. Why? Because they were both at the top of the ticket. Now, their plan was to let Biden completely fail, so that way he could name his vice presidential candidate to come up and follow up and receive the nomination, because they would see that Biden drops out, she comes in. I said this whenever it came out. I was like, there's something else going on behind the scenes we don't know about. How dare they let something like this happen? And the news, the way that they covered it, was just like, oh well, it's let's give it a little bit of a pushback, a little bit, but immediately came on the attack against Biden, which is really rare for them. Like I said, still sussing this one out. This just seems a little too convenient. And next thing you know, Harris is up there. She didn't have to go and debate anybody. She didn't have to do any sort of primary. She's just being handed it to her. Why would you just hand it to her? Why not do a small primary like a lot of the Democrats asked for? And then immediately that got shut up. You notice you don't hear anybody talking about that. The only thing that threw a wrench into their plan was a former president had an assassination attempt against him. That threw a really big wrench in their plans. And it went by, that was, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? Oh, it happened so far away. That got scrubbed immediately. I truly believe the plan all along was for Biden to step down, and he resisted. The plan was probably for him to step down halfway through his election, or well into it, that he was supposed to step down. And that way Harris could have 3 terms. What's to say that she's not running the show in the first place? I mean, she's going to meeting world leaders in other places, like not anywhere near the border. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. I was going to show you guys a pretty interesting thing where I've been proven wrong. Sorry. I have been absolutely proven wrong on this. And I just ask for your ongoing forgiveness for my horrible setting of telling of this story, because I thought I was right, and it turns out that I was very, very wrong. And I'll show it to you guys so we can get this on the sus. I ask for your ongoing forgiveness. Okay, just please forgive me. According to the 118th Congress, First Session, H. Resolution 253, expressing the sense of the House of Representatives that the Vice President, Kamala Harris, should be removed from her position as head of the Biden administration's strategy to address the root causes of migration. In the House of Representatives, March 24th, 2023, Ms. Jackson of Texas for himself, Mr. Babin, and Mike Garretta of California, Mr. Mauser and Weber of Texas submitted the following. resolution, which was referred to the Committee on the Judiciary in addition to the Committees on Homeland Security, Ways and Means, and Foreign Affairs for the period of subsequently determined by the Speaker for each case for consideration of such provisions as fall within the jurisdiction of the committee concerned. Resolution expressing the sense of the House of Representatives that Vice President Camel Toe Harris should be removed from her position as head of Biden's administration's strategy to address the root causes of migration. Whereas on March 24th, 2021, Vice President Camel Toe Harris was named border czar in charge of leading efforts to stem migrations across the United States-Mexico border, whereas Vice President Harris has visited the southern border since President Biden appointed her to lead effort. Yeah, sorry. I will lash myself later in this. Shizzy, you make wrong look good. Meeting with leaders of other places except Europe. Yeah, she's never been to Europe. Of course, I bet she went there for Paris. The Paris Olympics. Didn't you see her there? She was the evil that ascended upon that. Yeah, I was over at our neighbor's house, and having a wonderful dinner, and of course this whole Paris thing comes up, and my wife starts talking about the religious right, blah blah blah, and I had to stop her. I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, she goes, "Well, they were just imitating Bacchus." I was like, "It was a bunch of transvestites, a bunch of people dressed up, acting like members of the opposite sex, making a mockery of the Last Supper." And you're wondering why people are a little upset? I mean, even the French were like, "What the F are you doing? Like, that's weird. Like, you want to bring that kinky crap here?" I just looked at her and was like, I would suggest you not even talk about this, because if you're worried about the religious right, just imagine people like me that are not religious, that don't buy into the whole Jesus thing. That's just not me. But I also think that was stupid. It was ridiculous. It was screwed up. It should have never happened. And the fact that the Olympic Committee allowed that crap to happen, and the French people allowed that crap to happen, they can go blow it out their ass for all I care. Go wave a white flag somewhere else. I don't give two craps about this crap. Like, if I was part of the Olympics, I think I would just pack my freaking bags up and go home, because they brought politics into it. So that's just me. Yeah, fresh start for Democrats does not eliminate the presence of double haters. There are a range of emotions, opinions among disenchanted voters. While true double haters, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Double haters, they don't like either party. It sounds to me like a millennial wrote this shit or something. President Biden has done an admirable job. I don't know what planet these people are living on, but no, he has not done an admirable job. He's destroyed an economy. Okay? And if this person is even wondering about this, if you're saying he's done an admirable job, but his debate was the breaking point, then he wasn't doing an admirable job. It's just that was the breaking point. Disenchantment simmered for a while. Americans' unhappiness of the possibility. Here's the thing. Most Americans don't view it like this. They don't look at it as a rematch of Trump-Biden. I didn't even look at it as a rematch, because there was no match in the first place. Biden was incompetent the first time he ran. Do you think he got any better the second time? No. Just the Democrats got better at cheating the system. That's all it means. And now they're going to use this new candidate to make it look like, oh, people just overwhelmingly didn't like Trump. How many people are showing up to a Harris campaign and she's not even the candidate right now? There's so many people backing up Harris that she can't even get 200 people to show up to one of her rallies. If you watch any of her speeches, wherever you hear the crowd just overwhelmingly loud and screaming, they never show the crowd. Ever. It's weird to me that they don't show the crowd. The strangest thing happens whenever you see Biden showing up to speak somewhere in Georgia, and the crowd was less than 1,000. I mean, I saw the pictures, I saw the images, the aerials. There were less than 1,000 whenever he came to Georgia to speak. Not that I expect there would be a whole lot of people. But they make it out like Biden was this well-loved and everybody was going to vote for him, but yet he couldn't draw any sort of crowd. And they used the coof as a reason why. We don't want to get the old man sick. They showed Harris's crowds from an event 2 days ago, like 68 people showed up. Yeah. And most of them were in golf carts. Exactly. Famous during the last election, nobody showed up for Biden. Yep. By this point, broad dissatisfaction with Biden's performance as president has started only to set in. Jesus. But this is not Biden's performance. That's what I keep telling you. This was Joe Biden, Camel Toe Harris. This was their show. President, vice president, working lockstep with one another. It is their shit show that you're experiencing. If you think it's going to be any better under Harris, no, because she's done the same damn thing for the past 3.5 years. She's been doing this with Biden. What did she do in Venezuela? Oh, go figure. By this point, broad dissatisfaction. In a January 2022 poll, a drop of nearly 20 percentage points from the year before, which was low already. Biden's honeymoon glow, he has no glow, was completely gone. About half Americans had a favorable opinion because they're polling. All this is polls. By the end of 23, when it became clear that a Biden-Trump rematch was a very real possibility is whenever Joe Biden went and started pulling all the stops. All of his administration, from Florida to New York, all up and down the East Coast, California, they started coming after him. You notice we don't hear anything about Hunter Biden anymore. Yeah, that was going to kick him in the nuts. Yeah, Hunter Biden has a bankruptcy issue that he's not going to get out of lightly. I think it's, 23 million in unpaid taxes or some crap like that? Or is it 2.3 million? Something like that. It's a ridiculous amount. Even the left-leaning voters interviewed by the AP echoed broad frustrations over the two-party system that was poised to deliver a rematch. That makes no sense. That phrase makes no sense whatsoever. The United States has a Jillian... What? The United States, I don't know what the hell a jillion is. This must be some millennial. I don't know. They're an idiot. And for the candidates to be a former president, another president at the ages that they are, Jesus. Okay. Vallone, you're an idiot. Vallone, you are a moron. And please, whatever you do, just vote Democrat. Just put a D in front of it and vote for it because you're an idiot. If you're saying that the Republicans handed their party over to Trump, you're an idiot. See, this is what support for a candidate is. Whenever you support a candidate because their view aligns with you, that's what that is. That's what that looks like. That's whenever you have a party in unison that's saying, we like what this guy has to say. Things were better whenever he was there. If they didn't like him, he wouldn't have got nominated. But what were you going to have up there? You're going to have Ramaswamy, an unknown person that pays really good lip service. Were you going to have Ron DeSantis, that is probably the best in his position as governor? You're going to have whatever the hell that was that they call a female up there, because, that just looks like a DEI effort right there. You're going to have, what, Chris Christie? That fat shithead? This is what it looks like whenever someone looks at a candidate and says, I like what they have to say. And also it pisses those lefties off like crazy. That's even more fun, watching them go all ree on you. Why do you think that he got the nomination? Why do you think he didn't have to go and debate any of these asses? What, so they could tell him, oh, you need to drop out? That was a horrible, horrible debate. No, he doesn't have to debate them. He knows where he stands. Because every single one of those people that got up there wanted to debate Trump. And he wasn't there to debate. They either wanted to do exactly what Trump was doing, or they wanted to go against what Trump was doing. Like, we got to make a complete turnaround from what it was, showing disunity. And the American people, a majority of American people, have stood up and said, no, we like being unified against against the opposition of this party that's destroying our country. That's what you got. As compared to Biden, that can't even figure out where left is and right. Except, he probably has them written on each hand, so, he can do, left goes before right, and right goes after left, and maybe I can make it up these stairs. Let's shorten the ramp so I can make it up the stairs all the way. Can we lower the plane a little bit? Maybe put it on some air shocks. Stole bowling and Prince for entertainment. Oh yeah, with Jerry Garcia too. Follow the ice cream. Follow the ice cream. Vallone says, I know why Republicans nominated Trump, because they just had their party over to him. But how could Democrats not see this coming? Not see this is going to be an election that people just could not get excited about? Really? It seems to me that the left can't get excited about it because their party is in disarray. Because they've been so busy following what the polls are saying. And the polls are made up by places like the AP that want certain things to happen. Like I said, you can lie about it all you want. It just makes it journalism. Opportunities risk for Harris and Trump. It's unclear whether the new dynamic is permanent, but recent polls suggest the events of the past 2 weeks may have at least temporarily blunted the dynamics of the rematch. Recent polls, really? Of course, who are their polls from? CNN, New York Times, Siena College show that at least slightly fewer voters now hold an unfavorable view of the candidates. I mean, she's sucking. She's sucking wind. This means that she's sucking wind and she's got to do something to bring this thing forward. Because Oh boy. Here you can see their problem here. Republicans believe they can blunt any shift of public opinion with a barrage of advertising. Don't need to. This race is more fluid now. No, it never has been. The vice president is well known, but less well known. Are you trying to make up your mind, Ryder? Republican pollster, he's a pollster, don't care. If Trump goes down the DEI road of some of the far right wingers, he'll drive women into her arms. No, and no. Let me put it this way. If there's a woman out there that is that stupid to believe that she wasn't a diversity hire, then she needs to go vote Democrat. Seriously. Because I don't want you here. I don't want you here. Just saying. If you really think that she was not a diversity hire, then you just stay there. Just stay over there. just stay over there. I ain't got time for you. Catherine Cabot, a 69-year-old North Carolina voter who described herself as a Democrat leading independent. Well, then she is not. She's a right-winger. Just saying. I was sad for him. I was worried he was going to lose and we would have another Trump term that we simply cannot afford, she said. Now he's only certain Harris voter, but a volunteer. Mm-hmm. I'm sending postcards from home. I'll do whatever else I can, so maybe I can add a few votes. What? Why would you be adding a few votes? She gets pure Peruvian flake through the Venezuela. Yes. Oh boy, here it comes. As I said, democracy, and what do they show? They show January 6th. American democracy has overcome big stress tests since the 2020 election. Over the past 3 years, the world's oldest... Okay, we are not a democracy. We are not a mob rule. Richard Riccardi, is that his name? Nicholas Riccardi. Okay. Let's break this down. We are not a democracy. We're a republic. A sitting president did not try to overturn an election. The supporters did trespass on Capitol grounds. A lot of them were let in. They have not pushed any new laws to make it harder to vote. They've made laws and have been pushing laws to make the election legal and legitimate, with certifying that you are who you say you are. I would think that you would want this, because if you're saying that blacks can't get an ID, what does that say about you, racist? At the same time, the past 3 years have proved that the republic is resilient. Because unlike what you believe of Donald Trump trying to overturn an election, it still shows that we're a republic, and a constitutional republic at that. He now faces federal and state charges for those efforts. Really? And what charges is he facing? Think about that. Think about that some of those charges got dropped. Think about the Supreme Court coming in and saying, yeah, that's not a thing. Mar-a-Lago? That's gone. Remember that one? You notice how they haven't been talking about that one going away? Yeah, that one's gone. Now they can appeal it, but that's going to be too late. So you remember those presidential documents that he wasn't supposed to have, the ones that he declassified that he wasn't supposed to have? Guess what? That's gone. That case is gone. It's done. It's over with. And if you don't think that he's going to win in Georgia, and if you don't think that he isn't going to win his appeal in the state of New York, you might want to think twice. how this doesn't come back and bite them in the ass. But right now they're trying to make it like he's done something that he hasn't, because you notice they're not talking about the documents in Florida that were found in Mar-a-Lago where he was raided by our own federal government. The election infrastructure of the country performed well, with only scattered disruptions during the 22 midterms. But those were all on the Democrat side. Whatever. New voting laws, which many are technical and incremental, had little discernible impact on actual voting. Because you're an idiot, Nicholas. This is why you didn't see any change in the way that things happen. Because unlike you, we know that you have to prove who you are whenever you're voting. But Nicholas, here's the problem. You're too stupid to see it. Voters have stood up to defend our mob rule over the past few years, said Joanna Lingate, Chief Executive Officer of the United States, or Officer of the States United. That tracks those who refuse to believe the legitimacy of the 2020 presidential election. State and local officials have done a tremendous job in protecting our free and fair elections. But we're not a democracy, woman. See, Joanna, we call into question everything because that's what we do here. And although we can say, yep, President Joe Biden is your president, but he's still a fucking idiot. He's screwed our economy. So I hope you feel better in knowing that you're a part of that. So why all the worry? Why all the worry? I have no worry. My concerns are definitely not about who wins or who loses, because that doesn't change my actions. See, I have control over my actions, unlike Democrats don't tend to have a whole lot of control over theirs. They out really bad whenever called out on their bullshit. But that's okay. We accept it. We just move on with our life, and there's better things to be concerned with. Trump is running for the White House again. Has been dominating the Republican primary as the first votes approach. He's been called for pardoning those. No. See, here's the problem with a lie. You have to double down on it, because what he says right here, pardoning those prosecuted for January 6th. That's not what he said. That's not what he said at all. And I'll reiterate it if AP could actually, fact check their people. That might be pretty good, AP, because that right there is a lie. What he said is he will look at it as case by case. He says he doesn't know. He says some of them were arrested on bad information. Some of them were arrested just for walking in. And as you can see, they're still sitting in jail over a minor trespassing charge. And he said those that attacked our Capitol Police should be held accountable for it. Continues to insist falsely that the 2020... We see that we don't care. That's the thing. You can say that all you want to. Because, well, let me see. Didn't Hillary say the same thing? And still does to this day? That's all I heard the left saying for 4 years. There was Russian collusion. That was completely debunked. Did we not hear that for 4 years? So for a former president to claim that the election was stolen, does it mean it was? Don't care. Trump has increasingly used authoritarian rhetoric. No, he hasn't. At all. He campaigns for the GOP nomination. This is an old one or something? He's already got the GOP nomination. This got to be old. Oh, Jesus Christ. This was written. You've got to be effing kidding me. This is such an old story. Why did it come popping up in the news feed? Huh. So weird. So weird. No, it mocks. Manipulated videos shared by Musk mocks Harris's voice, raising concerns about AI and politics. Oh, Jesus. A manipulated video that mocks the voice of Camel Toe, saying things she did not say, is raising concerns about the power of AI to mislead with Election Day about 3 months away. The video gained attention after Elon Musk shared it on social media without explicitly noting it was originally released as a parody. He doesn't have to. That's a big FU. That's all it is. Am I the sole survivor? Really, did I get here too late? No, you're here along with plenty of other people. They're just getting ready, getting dressed. Israel calls Trump Cyrus. To Cyrus, I was assassinated by a worshiper of water bodies of Mar-a-Lago. Released last week, launching her campaign, the video swaps out the voiceover with another voice that convincingly impersonates Harris. I, Camel Toe, am your Democrat candidate for president because Joe Biden has finally exposed his senility in the debate. It claims Harris is a diversity hire because she is a woman of person color, and it says she doesn't know the first thing about running the country. The video retains Harris for president branding. It also adds some other authentic past clips of Harris. Okay. Dude, if you can't tell it's fake, it doesn't matter. We believe American people want real freedom, opportunity, and security. Vice President Harris is offering, not the fake manipulated lies of Elon Musk and Trump. Okay. It's a video that's hilarious. It's a parody. It's been told that it's a parody. If you know, you know. If you don't know, then you're an idiot and you don't belong in this space. Just saying. Policy has an exception for memes and satire as long as they do not cause any confusion about the authenticity of the media. Yeah, it's so ridiculous that people are going, yeah, she never said that. Musk has endorsed Donald Trump. Now, imagine this. As I'm reading down through this and all the stuff they're talking about, they missed out on something else. They missed out on something else that happened this weekend. Give me a second. I'll pull it up here because this is probably more important than any of the bullshit they're talking about. Because that's all it really is. That's all it boils down to is just bullshit. Let me find it here real quick. Because it became pretty apparent to me earlier on whenever I saw this that this was the thing, and it took me a second to realize the impact of it. Where is it? Because they're not talking about this at all, and because I tend to like to know what's going on with certain stocks and whatnot. This particular one sort of hit me really interestingly because I had no idea. There we go. Leading presidential candidate, according to the latest polls, Donald Trump is making waves in the Bitcoin community. Speaking at Bitcoin conference over the weekend, the businessman turned politician promised to build a Bitcoin reserve if elected. In addition, the former president said he'd appoint Bitcoin and crypto presidential advisory council if he wins the 2024 presidential election. These unhedged commitments create positive chatter among cryptocurrency traders and investors. He further excited the entire U.S. crypto market by suggesting he would fire Gary Gensler. Holy shit. Do you know the kind of change that would happen? Has been seen as a regulatory shackle that is preventing Bitcoin from meeting its full potential. Trump's remarks have some speculating this popularity in the polls could directly influence Bitcoin prices. Others believe his pro-crypto stance may be a game changer for the digital currency market. This right there is going to have a drastic effect. There's a reason why they're not talking about this. There's a reason why the AP isn't talking about him doing this. Because it was the mass media, and I read this just a couple of weeks ago, they were saying that Donald Trump tried to get rid of Bitcoin. He tried to shut it down. He made laws that would eliminate cryptocurrency. Which I was like, it's not true. I don't think he really paid too much attention to it. But with him doing this, that should have you thinking twice about what crypto is. You have to remember that Bitcoin was created right after the 2008 housing market. Whenever the big banks became too big to fail, they couldn't track the money. That's the thing about Bitcoin. You can see where every Bitcoin goes at every point in time. You know where it is. You may not be able to touch it, but you can see it. You can see where it's at. This should have you a little bit worried. Bitcoin's price volatility and Trump's performance. What, you son of a bitch. Going to have me sign up for this crap. I don't want to sign up with you. And I'm not registering an account with you either. You can go suck my balls. All right. Well, then we ain't going to share that anymore because I ain't gonna do that. I ain't playing their game. What else happens that Biden's concrete pier fell into the Mediterranean Gaza that they built for the new Gaza natural gas refinery with Hess oil, Texas' largest deposit ever found. Deposit right underneath the foot of Asher, which is blessed with oil, is prophesied in the Bible. I love it. I love it. You guys are so awesome. Congress has yet to pass legislation on AM politics, of course. We're going to share this one instead because this is a hell of a lot easier. And of course, as I said, you should be paying close attention to what's going on with Biden not wanting this to happen and Trump doing it. And of course, now they've already put Trump and Harris into an election. Trump said, until she gets the nomination, I don't care. He called off a debate. Check out that stock with Hess in Texas for Gaza natural gas refining. Should be a boom. Yeah, I don't take stock tips. I don't take stock tips. Honestly, I don't take stock tips. I don't take stock tips on anything, and I don't give them either. I'm an idiot whenever it comes to money like that. That's stupid money that I don't know anything about. I keep my money nice and tight. I mean, I do have a way of you. If you so much desire, you can always donate money to me. I do these free in the morning, and then I turn on my monetization afterwards. So you get this. You should be getting this with no commercials. You should have no commercials coming up to any of you guys. I've made it where all of my streams I don't turn on the monetization until after the stream is over. So if you got any questions, yeah, I know you're lurking, Cynthia. I'm fine. I'm lurking too. I'm just here hanging by myself. I'm doing this by myself up here. I get naked right before your very eyes. As I said, they're trying to make Trump and Harris a thing, but Trump doesn't need to debate Harris at all because it's no different than debating Biden. And of course, they're making it like Arab American leaders are listening as Camel Toe moves to shore up key swing state support. Yeah, His response were in listening mode because the largest Muslim population in Detroit, maybe they don't know she's married to a Jew. Is that a possibility? I wonder how they feel about that. Or maybe they're paying attention to the way that she treated the Israeli prime minister. I don't know. I wonder if any of it really matters. Harris, who is moving to seize the mob rule nomination after Biden stepped down, appears to be pivoting quickly to the task of convincing the Arab Americans. No, are they Arabs or are they Americans? Why not try to convince American voters in Michigan that state Democrats believe she can't afford to lose in November, that she is a leader they can unite behind? Well, everybody else is united behind her, ass up. Community leaders have expressed a willingness to listen. Some have had initial conversations with the Harris's team. Many have grown exasperated with Biden after they felt months of outreach had not yielded many results. Because we've been telling you this the whole time. You're exasperated now? Why? The door is cracked open since Biden has stepped down, said Dearborn Mayor Abdullah Hamoud. Man, I don't know what the hell kind of name that is, but there's an opportunity for, every time I see it, mob rule nominee to coalesce the coalition. Hey, you guys are idiots. What AI wrote your shit that ushered in Biden's presidency? What? They didn't usher shit in. Biden didn't do jack squat. You just voted because there was a D behind it. But that responsibility will now fall on the vice president. Well, she's used to having things hit her in the face. Arab American leaders, wait, are they Arabs or Americans? I'm just going to say Arab leaders such as Hamoud and Sablani are watching closely for signals that Harris will be more vocal and pressing for a Jesus Christ. There it is. She's telling Israel how to react. Telling Israel to have a ceasefire. With what? Countries that are looking to destroy America? There you go. That sounds like a good plan. The divide within Harris's own party was evident in Washington last week during the Prime Benjamin Netanyahu's visit to address Congress. Well, there was some Democrats that supported his visits, while others protested and refused to attend. And those that did attend refused to stand or applaud for things that he was saying about how shitty you're running your damn country and what the effect that it's having on the rest of the world. Outside the Capitol, there were some pro-Palestinian protesters, and they were met with pepper spray and arrests after they tried to insurrect. Just saying. They were calling for violence outside of Netanyahu's hotel room. Do you not remember? Did we not show enough of that for you? It was quite boring, actually. That's why it's quite boring. Michigan Representative Rashida Tlaib, the only Palestinian American in Congress whose district includes Dearborn, held up a sign that read, "A war criminal," during Netanyahu's remarks. You notice the media didn't show that. I think she was pointing to herself. It's sort of like, read my sign kind of thing, except hers said, war criminal with a little arrow pointing down at it. Good job, Rashadi, or whatever your name is. Harris did not attend, of course. There's a reason why she didn't attend, because a couple of days later she would come out and call for a ceasefire without knowing the full consequences of what that would mean. And Netanyahu said, no, there's not going to be a ceasefire until Hamas is eliminated, until Iran is suppressed. He made a very pointed objection to that. As a good sign of faith with them, though they recognize her ongoing responsibilities, that she has not done shit as a vice president. What makes you think she's going to do shit as a president? Including a meeting Thursday with Netanyahu. Well, and nothing good came out of that. And I think it was Friday that Netanyahu went and visited with Trump. I'd still like to hear what went on with that meeting. Okay, we've come to that spot where we're going to take a little coffee break. I need to go get some more coffee and lubricate my throat a little bit. This one's just about done. So I'm gonna give you the coffee break song. I'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, you guys ready? Coffee break song coming.
Sandy shores, get a tan, Rambo the orangutan. Driving a golf cart, oh man, Rambo is half crazy, yes he can. Well, that SOB's a sight to F and see. Oh, Rambo's rolling, as the sun he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast. Whoa, Rambo's rolling, as the sun he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast. Shizzy on the dunes, coffee in hand. Rambo is a loon, and Shizzy is, well, that is too dirty to say here. Shizzy on the dunes, coffee in hand. Rambo is a loon, and Shizzy is that is too dirty to say here, Oh, Rambo's rolling, as the sun he's...
All right, we are back. Woof. Oh my, yeah. I didn't go anywhere. Taz, I didn't go anywhere. I'm still here. I don't know why you're staying later. You guys are funny. I'm still cranking my trunk windows. What's a Bitcoin? Still cranking your trunk windows. What the hell is a Bitcoin? Well, if you're wondering what Bitcoin is, here let me give you a perfect example of the way that Bitcoin works. Okay. How much money do you put into the bank? Do you use a credit card? Do you use a debit card? Or do you pay in cash? Okay. So if you use any of those, just imagine knowing you got your, well, I know you're joking, but a lot of people don't know this. So just imagine you got your money, it's sitting in the bank. Okay, and you know how much is there in the bank? Well, they transfer that money and give somebody a loan off of it. It's just a monetary system. It's just a monetary system, that's all. It is a monetary system put in place to replace the Federal Reserve and the World Bank that controls all your funds. That's why they did it. Also, it's deflationary. People are losing their Bitcoin, losing access to their wallets. There's a guy that has several $1 million worth in a landfill somewhere, sitting on a hard drive that he can't access. It's all gone. I pay with my good looks too, Ugly Truckling. Pay with my good looks. Her first test within the community will become whenever she chooses a running mate. Well, only if she wins the nomination. See, she has to win the nomination. She has to have the unifying support behind her to win that nomination. Do you think she has it? Possibility she does. Josh Shapiro was one of the first ones to criticize the students on campus, so it doesn't differentiate Harriet very much if she picks him. Okay. The Arabs are better that their vote holds enough electoral significance in swing states like Michigan to ensure that officials will listen to them. Michigan has the largest concentration of Arabs in the nation, and the state's majority Muslim cities overwhelmingly supported Biden in 2020. Well, he won Dearborn, for example, roughly by 3-1 margin over Donald Trump. Well, that's just Dearborn. In February, over 10,000 Michigan, what do they call those again? Mob rulers. Primary voters chose uncommitted, securing 2 delegates to protest the Biden administration's unequivocal support for Israel. The groups leading this effort have called for, at a minimum, an embargo on all weapons shipments to Israel and permanent ceasefire. Well, that's not your choice. Just like it's not America's choice. America needs to stay out of this, support their ally, and shut the F up. If their ally is doing something so atrocious, then pull your support. Renegotiate the deal that you made with Israel. If you don't like it, see where your support goes. It should worry you if you're Jewish and a Democrat voter. Do you think there's a larger Jewish population in the United States than there is an Arab population? It's an interesting thought. And Harris has made it very clear she does not support Israel. She made it very clear. The only thing that she supports is what she's told to support. I don't trust it. Harris didn't get a 10 because she's only a 2. Yeah, that's paying her too much. Too much right there. Abbott. Harris didn't get a 10 because she's only a 2. That's giving her way too much. Whiz, don't be a mouth breather like the Dems. Oh, if Harris calls for an embargo, I would work around the clock every day until the election to get her elected, said Abu Abbas. I'm not even going to try to say his name. These divisions are on full display. Trump is campaign, meanwhile, keenly aware of turmoil. Don't care. Everybody wants our votes, but nobody wants to be seen as aligning with us publicly. There was no Muslim ban. That's right. The 3 main points that were noted in the meeting where Trump needs to state more clearly that he wants immediate ceasefire in Gaza is he supports the 2-state solution, that there is no such thing as a Muslim ban. No, there wasn't. Oh, I know. You're on your 4th packet of Folgers crystals, crack this, fires you up, put it in regular coffee too, make it espresso and American sweet espresso. Oh boy. They are really pushing for Newsom to come into play here. You know that, right? They really want Newsom as the VP. Cities facing homeless crisis while applaud Supreme Court decision while others push back. Decision by the Supreme Court allowing cities to enforce bans on sleeping outside in public spaces will allow San Francisco to begin clearing homeless encampments that have plagued the city. A plague that was brought about by San Francisco, its policies, Camel Toe Harris, Gavin Newsom. All these people were responsible for doing this. Welcome, Willie Brown. In case you don't understand this, and people hear different terminologies here, you're going to hear places like Oakland, San Francisco. It's sort of like the distance between them is the difference between New York and the Bronx. Okay? Like New York City, the Bronx, Queens. Oakland's pretty damn close to San Francisco. Does anybody believe that someone gave up dictatorship of California? If he were to leave to be VP, he'd never get a foothold back in California again. Hopefully, that would be the plan. Because his goals are not just about California. His goals are to be president. He's that crooked that he's fine in his little country estate out there. He does own vineyards and just saying. This case's most significant on the issue comes before the High Court in decades and comes as cities across the country have wrestled with the politically complicated issue of how to deal with a rising number of people without a permanent place to live and the public frustration over related health and safety issues. Well, they didn't seem too caring about it 3.5, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, 13 years ago, 14, 15, so on and so forth. They didn't give two shits about it. Matter of fact, it got to the point where you could point out on a map where every single turd was located in that state. They used to have apps so you could track where the poop was. Imagine that. Human feces littering the ground. Your tablet can't spell this morning. Does anybody believe that we knew someone? Oh, yeah. We will continue to lead with services, but we can't continue to allow people to do what they want on the streets of San Francisco. But you have forever, and you could have removed them forever. It's the same way that your crime is running rampant, where you have people just walking into shops, loading up grocery carts full of food, loading up bags, and just turn around and walk out. They come in with a mission. Take the most expensive stuff and leave. Doesn't matter whether they need it or not. Doesn't matter if anything breaks on the way out. They don't care. This is the policies that you created. You created these policies and now you're going, I don't understand. We will continue. Breed said she will review the ruling with the city's attorney's office before implementing any new policies. The city will provide training to those clearing camps. It's called a scoop, a bucket, water hoses, and you let it get to this point. If you let it get to this point, this is what happens. Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler, Democrat, who's seen his 2 terms buffeted by discontent over the city's homelessness. But yet you got elected in again, didn't you? Twice, 3 times a lady. How many times did you get elected in for your same bullshit? In Boise, we take care of people. Criminalizing homelessness will never solve the problem associated with homelessness, except now you can put them into prisons. Guess who runs the prisons? 3 companies run the prisons. Independent. Sarah Rankin, professor of law at Seattle, who directs its homeless rights advocacy, and the decision will likely result in a type of free-for-all for cities banning people from sleeping on the streets. But she said state constitutional provisions and other federal constitutional provisions could then be invoked. I think a number of cities are going to misread this as a green light for an open season on unhoused folks. No, it's never open season on unhoused folks. Why is she doing these hunting references? No. We're talking about people that are homeless, and why are they homeless? I mean, let's look at some of the root causes of this instead of going on the attack of calling them horrible, mean, rotten people. What is it that we could do to help out the homelessness? I mean, we could maybe build some buildings in California, that would house them. But that hasn't worked before because those just turned into ghettos, so that didn't work. Maybe we can give them free needles and syringes. That helps them out, right? So that way they don't get shared diseases. They get clean needles. Crack pipes. We can give them a. How about we do that for them? Oh, that didn't work either. That just made more people come. Free phones. We could do that. Yeah, give them some free phones because that helps them get a job and stay off the drugs that you've been supplying them with. No, that didn't work either. How about we raise their taxes? Yeah, there you go. We raise the taxes on the rich and wealthy. Yeah, that'll get them off the streets. No, that didn't work either. I can't think of a single thing that's gonna work against the homeless. I guess they're just doomed to have homelessness everywhere we go. So we'll just how about we just open up the state and just let them have run rampant. That's worked. That's worked really well. And of course, can cities fine them for sleeping on sidewalks? No, because you can't steal money from a poor man. Washington, the most significant case in decades of homelessness, has reached the Supreme Court as record numbers of people in America without a permanent place to live. Yeah, it happens. Bad decisions along the way make that happen. Like, be like China, make it illegal. That doesn't do any good. You think there's still not people that are homeless in China? I mean, it's not like you can take away their freedom. I mean, what? You're gonna throw them in jail now you have less freedom than you had before. At least you get meals, maybe. Advocacy groups say the decisions provide essential legal protections, especially with an increasing number of people forced to sleep outdoors as the cost of housing soars. It works in China. Unused army bases for homeless vets. No, that would be too much. That would be too much. See, the problem is that you do that with homeless vets, they would get together. They would form their own army. They would work together. They would remember what it was like in the army. They know that there's a chain of command. And yeah, you can't keep homeless vets together. Yeah, you can't do that. You got to send them elsewhere. Send them amongst all of the poor and the impoverished people that have no desire to do anything better. That's what you do with Army vets, isn't it? And that's satirical. It was not meant to be a serious question. The political cross-section of officials in West and California, home to nearly 1/3 of the homeless people. I wonder why that is. Make camping great again. Common sense measures intended to keep homeless encampments from taking over public parks and sidewalks, well, that has not helped. The case before the Supreme Court comes from Grants Pass, a small city nestled in the mountains of southern Oregon where rents are rising and there's just one overnight shelter for adults. As a growing number of tents clustered in its parks, the city banned camping and set a $295 fines for people sleeping there, as they should. Here's the thing. This is about one city saying we don't have any other choice. We can't have our city going to shit. We don't want that. We want our city to be nice and beautiful, and people are going to come here and they're going to camp out. We've got to do something. If they can't pay the fine, well, we'll take everything they own and send them on their way. Time to move on. City also challenged a 2018 decision known as Martin v. Boise that first barred camping bans when shelter space is lacking. But see, here's the problem. These people are homeless. It has nothing. If you're worried about the rising cost of, Jesus, what Christ! I guess we have to go through this again. The rising cost of houses. Okay. What causes the rising cost of houses? Well, because it's not just the initial cost of the house. It's because you've raised minimum wage. You've eliminated work that people could be doing in oil field, which would have lowered gas prices, which means that the economy could have prospered. Well, for the past 3.5, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, hell, since I was a child, you've been screwing the economy. We owe more, but yet you still send people to, you send money over to Ukraine. You send money to go fight unnecessary wars for oil, for more oil, whenever you're sitting on one of the largest reserves in the world and won't tap into it. And yet you're fighting wars. How many billions of dollars, how many trillions of dollars are we in debt right now to other countries that you haven't been able to get it under control? And I mean, every single president has not helped get it under control. You knew a smart young guy who wanted to be homeless just to try it. To each their own. Hey, there's plenty of those out there. They are not unnecessary. How else would contractors get their money? So many better ways to be spreading money around. See, it used to be you could buy a loaf of bread, eggs, milk for practically nothing, under $1, enough to last you a week. Flour, you could buy it. You could fuel up your car. Of course, we didn't have as much technology then as we do now. But the FDA's stepped in and limited where you can get your food source from. You can't get it from a local farmer. They come after those. If you want to find out more about that, there's a certain guy that I know that could probably easily sell meat and milk, cheese. But he can't do that because do you know what it would cost for him just to get FDA approved to be able to sell it to people? Yeah, just a wee little goat farmer in Tennessee. The cost would be more than it would be worth, and then it becomes a pain in the ass. It's horrible. I mean, yeah, you have to have some sort of standard, but you would think that if people want to keep a customer, then you would make sure that the standard is met. Speaking of a certain goat farmer I know of, fans swarm a hill in Munich claiming a high perch for watching Taylor Swift concert for free. Munich. Thousands of Taylor Swift fans have gotten free seats to her concerts in Munich on a grassy hill near the concert venue. Swifties, they packed at Olympic Hill, or Olympiaberg, one of the highest elevations in the southern German city, for the second day straight on Sunday. That gave them a high perch for waiting the singer's sold-out concert on nearby Olympic Stadium. On Saturday, they braved the heat, which reached 31 degrees Celsius. As we like to say in America, 88 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not hot. Trust me. It was 90 yesterday. And claimed their spot hours before concert began. Police estimated that about 25,000 gathered on the hill on Saturday, according to the DPA news agency. On Sunday, fans returned once again. They were packing that grassy hill with so many people that from a distance the scene looked like an anthill. Rather than discourage the free viewings, the concert organizer handed out water and emergency blankets to those waiting to protect themselves from the sun. Sunday's concert is Swift's last in Germany as part of her Eras tour. She heads next to the Polish capital Warsaw for 3 concerts this coming week from Thursday through Saturday. Yeah, 88 degrees. Blistering heat. In Germany, 88 degrees. Yeah, I saw that too. What? Okay, I'm looking. What? I'm looking. Okay, I'm not. I mean, it's talking about nipples, but I'm not gonna weigh on this one. I'm not weighing in on this one. That's one I don't want to cover. And that one, get rid of that one, and get rid of that one. I'm closing out some of my tabs here because I'm about to show about to show something here that could be disturbing. So if you're easily disturbed, then I would suggest now is the time to mute. Tel Aviv, Israel. The Middle East braced for a potential flare-up in violence on Sunday after Israeli authorities said a rocket from Lebanon struck a soccer field in the Israel-controlled Golan Heights, killing 12 children and teens in what the military called the deadliest attack on civilians since October 7th. It raised fears of a broader regional war between Israel and Hezbollah, which in a rare move denied it was responsible. The White House National Security Council said it was speaking with Israeli and Lebanese counterparts and working on diplomatic solution to end all attacks once and for all because they want to have a ceasefire. Well, this is not a way to get a ceasefire by firing rockets and killing children. An intentional attack from Hezbollah. The Israeli military said it struck a number of targets inside Lebanon overnight into Sunday, though their intensity was similar to months of cross-border fighting between Israel and Iran-backed Hezbollah. Hezbollah said it also carried out strikes. There were no immediate reports of casualties. Saturday attack came as Israel and Hamas negotiated a ceasefire. That's not true. Israel is not, and they said they are not negotiating a ceasefire. That's not what Israel said. Netanyahu was very clear about what he said. We will not stop until Hamas is gone. We're done. We're done playing. That's what Netanyahu said. That doesn't sound like a ceasefire to me. That sounds to me like Israel does not want to play anymore. They're done with the shenanigans and the bullshit. So I don't know where they're coming up with saying that Israel is working on a proposed ceasefire. Because we've heard what Netanyahu's promise is, that he will not stop until this is gone, until the threat is eliminated. He said he is not negotiating with terrorists. That's what he said. Plain and simple. If you don't believe it, go back and watch what he said to Congress. On Saturday, a rocket slammed into a soccer field where dozens of children and teens were playing. About 7 miles south of Lebanon and next to the Syrian border. 12 were killed, 20 were wounded. I feel darkness inside and out. Nothing like this has happened here, said a resident, Anan Abu Shaleh. There's no way to explain this. I saw children. I don't want to say what I saw, but it's horrible. Really horrible. We need more security. The Israeli military said it was investigating why the rocket wasn't intercepted and questioned whether it would have been possible due to its short journey and short reaction time. Bomb shelter was next to the blackened field just steps away. The Druze are a religious sect that has began as an offshoot of Shiite Islam and has communities in Israel, Syria, and Lebanon. Why is that the Islams would have a place allowed in Israel? Isn't Israel out to destroy the... Oh, they're not. This is the lie that they're telling you. Every time you see someone talking about free Palestine, it's just they have no desire. That's not what it is. It is the militant terrorist factions that are attacking Israel that they have a problem with. And it just happens to be that those people are running that country, are running that region, and they're trying to squash their ability to do so. The Druze are considered among Israel's most loyal citizens. Amazing that they would have Muslims be some of their most loyal citizens. Israel captured the Golan, a strategic plateau, from Syria in 1967 Mideast War and annexed it in 1981. Much of the international community considers the area to be occupied territory, while Jewish leaders there profess allegiance to Syria. Relations with Israel are normally good. Big hanger, big, 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 big. I have no feelings I can explain to you, said Hassan, Majaz Sham's residence. What this could mean for a wider war? Well, because Netanyahu has said we are not negotiating with the terrorists. This is going to continue on until we have eliminated them. Every time you hear them calling for a ceasefire in Israel, just know that they do not plan on having a ceasefire. They want to make sure that Hamas is gone. They will not tolerate attacks from Iran. Imagine living in a country the size of I'm trying to think how big Israel is. It's not very big. Let's put it that way. So just here, let's use this for an example. Imagine you live in North Carolina. South Carolina attacks you. Okay, and they start launching rockets into South Carolina, into the cities. North Carolina starts feeling the impact. In Raleigh, North Carolina, there's rockets hitting downtown. You have weird, crazy bombers come rolling in there and terrorizing the place, and show up at your college campuses and take hostages and things of that sort. I mean, that's the level of what's going on there. And then imagine South Carolina being given nuclear capabilities by other countries. But they hate North Carolina so much that they want to clear them out. That's the kind of war that's going on currently. That give you any idea how ridiculous it is? Fighting over such a little bitty plot of land. I don't know. That's all for today. I can't read any more of this. The AP's bullshit. Sorry. That's all it is. I see that it's not getting any better. We've got an election this year that's not going to change how people are. If you think that Trump being elected is going to change how people act and react, no. You got better hopes than I do. You got much better hopes than I do. I don't see much changing in the next 4 years after we have this election. Call me pessimistic, optimistic, whatever it might be. I hope for better. That's what we always hope for, is better. But people will still continue to do stupid people things, and that happens. And I will have a good day, and hopefully tonight we'll figure out where the men all show up tonight. There'll be a group of guys that get together and do a nice stream. So we'll just have to wait and see where that happens. I haven't gotten any information yet, but as soon as I know, you'll know. Keep an eye out. Make sure that you're subbed up to Valhalla, to MG, to me, to Volstorm, or Caliber Character, and you guys will find out where we are tonight, if we are anywhere tonight. I guess we'll find out later, won't we? I am in the dark just as much as you are. We may be over on MGs, but there's always a possibility we could be elsewhere. We'll have to see. But you need to be subbed up to all of us to find out where we are tonight, and you may not know until the last minute. Once you get that invite, come in. It's going to be a blast. Be careful crossing streams. Yes, you never cross streams, Zach. Never cross streams. you never know what's going to happen. Everybody have a wonderful day today. Remember, be kind to one another. And wherever it is that you guys end up, I'm not passing you on to anybody today. I haven't set anything up for that. I guess I could do that. I could send you guys somewhere. Let's see what we got going on here. Where can I redirect all you fine people to? Nope, not going there. We got Broken Baker. Yeah, I'm just gonna send you guys over to Broken Baker. How's that? We will send you guys over there. Say hello to the Broken Baker. Send him my love, and make sure that you hit the thumbs up whenever you arrive, and hit it before you leave. Everybody, have a good day. We will see you, well, tomorrow or tonight or whichever it is. Peace, y'all.
Now I gotta call somebody to come get me because my car turned into a spaceship and I don't know how to fly it. I'm not an astronaut.